Hey crew, it's Pit, and I'm back with another reaction video. This guy never fails to get a smile from me, so I'm hoping that we're going to get some more of that. And the opening bit right here, I'm down with that. Like, I saw this when I was going through Buddy's stuff. This is Buddy Brown. And I was going through his stuff, and I was like, what can I do from Buddy? Like, I'm trying to go through everybody's catalog, but I want to get through the stuff I like that intrigues me the most first. And this is one of my fears. This is one of the things that I hope doesn't happen. I really do. I hope that we don't get any more to this point. And this is if America becomes tribal. So we're going to check it out. We're going to see what Buddy's got to say about this, because he is pretty spot on with pretty much everything. He's got a good feel for the pulse of real America. And I want to see what he's got to say. Wolverines. I can't scream anymore. I'm with it. Like Red Dawn was my stuff growing up.
So if you haven't noticed, there's a terrible, terrible virus that's going on. It's spilling into your towns. It's spilling into your cities. And it ain't Corona. It's something way, way more deadly. Don't get infected. Don't get brainwashed. When common sense goes out the door, society is no longer stable. Is basically what I'm saying, y'all.
I knew from the get where he was going with this, because I know what it was about. Like, communism is an absolutely horrifying ideology. You believe in communism, you are horribly misled. You need to read a lot more. Read the Gulag Archipelago. Read about what communism really is. Read the history of Mao. Read about what communism really is. There is literally a road paved with bodies. Like, the foundation of the road is the bodies. Because they couldn't break the ground in the gulags for separate graves. So they were already building a road, and they just put the dead people in the road and paved over them. That is a real thing. That is the price of communism. The price of communism is intentionally starving. Was it Romania? I think it was Romania. They just chose not to feed them one year. That is communism. That is what happens with communism. That is why I'm so adamant against communism, and why I'm okay with ending communism by any means necessary.
It becomes a ticking time bomb. In 1906, Henry Alfred Lewis said there is only 9 meals between mankind and complete anarchy. Y'all know
That's 3 days. That's about right.
that food is the only commodity that cannot be postponed, right? You can put off all kinds of other commodities. Don't really need them that much, but food?
Have you been to the grocery store lately? I don't know about y'all, like wherever you are. I know that y'all are from all over the place. But here, like I live, we've got the Port of Baton Rouge and the Port of New Orleans within, like we're 40 miles away from New Orleans here, about 20 miles away from Baton Rouge. I'm in the middle of them. So we have most of the commerce for the entire middle of the country comes through where I'm at. It passes by my interstate right here, going both ways all the time. We are out of a lot of things here. That is an intentional choice that has been made. And we didn't get to make that choice. Some of y'all actually voted for this moron in office. Most of y'all did not. We watched a thing get stolen. I can't say the thing because then I get taken down. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what was stolen. Everybody knows what was stolen. Even the people that wanted it stolen knew it was stolen. But most of us didn't, and we just sat on our ass after it happened. Like this last cycle was an absolute travesty. It is why I do not hold out hope. Like that really, like I've always been a conspiracy guy, but that really tipped me off that we were in the end times. There is no way that happened like it did. And that wasn't God's intervention. Like that's setting us up. Like God's not setting us up. He's allowing us to set ourselves up for the failure that's coming. That is the free will part. We talk about that extensively. But there is an intentional plan. There is an intentional purpose behind this. There is a great reset that is coming. That it is an intentional agenda. 20, what? What was that 20? Man, I could only remember what that agenda's 20 was. It was 21? Oh, yeah. It was 21. And then it got moved to 30. But they're still right on track. Dead on. Like, everything's fitting perfectly with the, what year is it? Oh, yeah. 21. Okay. Let's get back to Buddy.
You can't put it off. When you need it, you need it. Or you get crazy, and you do crazy things to get it. Why am I saying this? Because Americans are now paying the price for putting emotion over truth and logic and common sense. Americans are paying the price for putting emotion over right and wrong. How have we gotten to a place where we can actually see right and wrong? But some of us are still siding with politicians and news anchors over what's right. Y'all, I think what we're seeing is we've entered into something I call tribal mentality. And when you have tribal mentality, basically right and wrong go out the door, don't they?
We talk about things. It's going to be over here, like in this corner over here. I'm going to put a link to some of the things we talk about and how the tribe breaks into things. Because there is a hardwire there. And most people fall into a certain slot, a certain stack of hardwire for the tribe. And if they think that the tribe is correct, they will not question it whatsoever. That is a thing. That is real. And it is up to the rest of us to pull back on that. I'm not one of the pullback people. I'm one of the flex people. But I'm learning to be more of the pullback.
Because if you break stride with the tribe, you are excommunicated, which means you lose your protection.
Which is why we got hardwired that way. Like, that is literally why that happens.
Not a good feeling, is it? It appeals to our basic fears, and primal fears, and instincts. When you get infected with the poison that I'm talking about, your emotions now become the new martial law. You pack up in violent mobs, and you do things that are terrible and they're evil.
Yeah.
You feel no remorse for it.
None.
That's what happens when you're infected with this poison.
Yep.
Supply lines are getting disrupted, y'all. First TP, then some canned goods, then lumber, then chicken. Now we have an entire gas pipeline that has been hacked. And much of the Southeast is rationed.
It was not. That was an intentional thing. Like, there is no proof of that. I cannot pull up a single proof document for that. But what I can tell you is that prices were rising. That they needed demand to drop. And in order to achieve that, all of a sudden, this situation popped up. Twice. The current situation, worldwide, is the same thing without the computer issue going on worldwide. It is part of that great thing I was just talking about. It is. That agenda thing I was just talking about.
And gas right now as I speak. Oh, well, it's just going to be short term. Don't worry about it. What if it's not?
This was May 11th. I'm shooting this. It is October the 3rd. It is still in very much short supply. I noticed something. I noticed things. Patterns leap out to me. We have a Murphy's right here. Murphy's is, if you don't know, Murphy's is owned by Walmart. And they're a gas station, like a convenience station / gas station. We've got one of the big ones where you can actually walk in and do things. But for about a week, they had their pumps roped off. Every pump. Completely roped off. For a week. And I'm like, what is going on at Murphy's? I thought maybe they were doing some rehab or something, but they never came and they never had anybody working on the pumps. There was none of that went on. And then the tape disappeared and the handles are bagged off like they have no gas. I'm like, all right. And I'm driving by and I saw this. I was like, okay, well, they must be getting back straight. And then I get right down the road to a Circle K, which is another chain of gas stations. I know not everybody has this. We have Circle K down here. And Circle K's pumps are roped off. Like, we're not dealing with a gas shortage right now. We did after the hurricane. I know they are in other places. But if we are here, they're hiding it real well. And they might be hiding it real well by doing that. Because when we did have a gas shortage here right after the hurricane and people were trying to buy gas for generators and cars and so that they could live their life and keep their food and all of those things, like, it got hard to get gas. And then it wasn't. But now we have 2 of our gas stations here with the same issue. And again, there's nobody working on these pumps. And that's like I notice things. That's what I do. And it's just odd. Let me know, because I am genuinely interested, if you're seeing this out where you are. I want to know if this is something that maybe is flying a little bit under the radar. And maybe there's something that we, as patriots, need to pay attention to. You feel me? Like, it might just be a different system going in. I'm open to that, but it's odd. It is very odd that they taped off both of these pumps. Like, the entire section of pumps. And the Murphys, like, what's really crazy about the Murphys situation is that is what they do. Like, they are gas predominantly. They don't have a parking lot. The Murphys we have has like 2 parking spots on this side of the store, 3 parking spots on this side of the store, and gas pumps. That's it. They took out all of their parking. Like, if people aren't getting gas, they park at the pumps so they can go in the store. No parking. It's weird.
What if they hack it again in 2 weeks, in 2 months? What if they do a greater damage next time? Patriots, if I was you, I would highly, highly consider, at this moment in time right now, of getting out of the cities.
He is absolutely correct. If you are still in a city, you need to make every effort to not be. Time is short on that. Very, very, very short. If he is telling you to get out, you better go. I understand it is hard. It is. I am uncomfortable here. I'm right on the edge of the Booger Woods here. I am uncomfortable with the level of city around me. And it's getting worse, like it is.
Well, that's a little bit drastic, buddy. Yeah, it may be drastic, but let me ask you a question. If you think I'm just a little bit overboard, do you really think inflation is going to improve a whole lot in the next year or two?
This this was May 11th. Right now, October 3rd, is a completely different situation than it was on May 11th. The same year. That was what, June, July, August, September, October. 5 months. In 5 months, in May, I would say it's probably a 30% increase in prices here locally for everything in 5 months.
5, 10 years. You think race relations is going to improve a whole lot in the next 5 or 10 years? What about corruption in government? The infringements on your freedoms. You think that stuff's going to get better? How long do you really think we can sustain the same wages as a nation with increased cost of goods?
That is a big thing. Like this plays into that great thing I was talking about. I can't say it together. If I say it together, gone. The whole video disappeared. So I have to tiptoe. I have to. And I hate that, but I have to. This wage situation, I just did the Chris Webby bit, and I talked about this there, but wages, like this minimum wage fight, is crazy. It is. Like, you're not meant to stay on minimum wage. The American dream is the ability to work hard to succeed and to be able to do that. That is the dream. To be able to bust your ass and improve your life. They're trying to take that away. They're trying to regulate into existence a basic universal income. Because if they get that, then they control you. And then they're like, well, everybody will just be free to do whatever they want. That's such a fucking lie. Like, such a lie. What happens is mediocrity becomes the norm, and then mediocrity goes away. And everybody is equally shitty. That is what happens when that situation takes hold. It starts off, it seems great. They sell you this lie in a package of equality because you wouldn't buy it if they sold you poverty. But that's where it winds up. Read the Gulag Archipelago. Alexander Solzhenitsyn laid out, like, it's dry reading, I understand that, but he laid it out, like the motivations and the implementation of this system. He laid it out, and it's ignored. Like, he told you the atrocities that happened just so they could see how much atrocity they can do. They tortured things just to see. Just to see they tortured people. Like, how much can one person take of illogical persecution? They did that. They will do that again. It's coming, y'all. Be ready.
Or we just completely lose it. How long can that go on? Same wages, cost of living going up. It don't make sense. And it doesn't take an economic class to see that the more money that they keep printing, just printing money wildly. Every single time they print money, the value of the dollar goes down,
Yep.
and down, and further until it's pretty much worth nothing.
Economics 101 right there.
I guess what I'm saying, y'all, is if there was a rattlesnake ahead, wedged up between a couple boulders, I'm gonna run back, I'm gonna grab you on the shoulder, I'm gonna say there's a rattlesnake right up there. The stuff I'm telling you about is a rattlesnake.
Yes, absolutely. Me and Buddy are in complete agreement on this. Complete agreement.
From Germany in 1922 to Argentina in 2000 to Venezuela in 2016. When you see inflation go from just being a sporadic little flash in the pan to a new normal way of life, that's when you need to watch out.
Yeah.
Because by the time you recognize it, it's too late.
Like, they came out and said, by 2030, you will own nothing and you will be happy about it. They said that. They meant that. They did. It is an agenda. It is progressing right on schedule. It is. Like, you can try to deny that. They can try to hide that. But if you're paying attention to the pattern, you can see this.
And Democrats are rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. While the thing is going down.
They're arguing right now like the government is shut down. That happens all the time because they want to raise the debt ceiling. God forbid somebody wants to hold them accountable for spending.
Because it's their watch, it's their shift. We're living in a one-party controlled system right now.
Truth.
It is moving progressively further and further to the left.
Truth. There is never backwards progression. Where you hold the line is where the line will stay. It will never fall back the other way. They are pushing, they are fighting, they are pushing. And we, on the right hand, I hate even classifying myself as right, but we on the right are holding the line. Because if they push, then we're holding the line here. And then they push, and then we hold the line here. But we never push back. We don't. We're conservatives. We conserve. We don't try to progress. And that is not arguing against progression. I have been a progressive my whole life. I am a classic liberal. Hey, I want freedom. I don't want anarcho-capitalist freedom, and God knows we don't need libertarian freedom. But I want freedom. I want you to be able to choose your life. I don't want to choose your life for you. I want you to be able to do what you need to do to get where you need to be. And that is not up to me. It's up to me to try to keep this shit from falling apart. And we're not keeping this shit from falling apart. It is falling apart. It is falling apart.
And we're seeing the results now. So what I would say to you is now is the time to form your allegiances. Find your friends, find your family that you trust. And if they're not taking this stuff seriously, they don't need to be anywhere near you.
That is true. Like I'm not fucking with anybody that's not taking this serious. Like there's members of my own family that I ain't fucking with. Like I've cut, and it's bad because I have already cut out a lot of people for different ideological reasons. Like I don't mess with people that are not capable of growth. That's one of my INFJ things. If you're not capable of growing, if you have no desire to grow, because some people really are NPCs. Like, if you can come to that realization, it will change your life. Some people cannot deviate from the script. And you don't need to put your energy into the ones that cannot deviate. You need to put your energy into the ones that are going to help you to grow and that you can help to grow. I've been clear. I've got Bible studies about what I think is coming. It is not what most people think is coming with the end times. I have completely different beliefs than most people. But what I am doing, I plan on trying to be here on the other side of this issue, on the other side of what's happening, and I want to help be responsible for coming out of this in a godly way. So the people that I am gathering to me and that God is bringing to me, because he is doing that, he is bringing to me the people that need to be in my life. Some of them that I did not expect and some of them that I did. But he is bringing them to me so that we can come out of the backside of this. Like a lot of the population is about to disappear. It is going to happen. There will be a lot of bad things unfolding shortly. We are getting to the side effects part of this. We're getting to the part where this thing is finally going to start showing what it really was. I'm sorry for that. I hate it for you. If you have done this, someone you love has done that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Because if they're not taking it seriously now, they definitely cannot be depended on in a life or death situation. One more thing I want to say, especially to you men. This is not a time to let your wife see you panic and talking about this 3.5 hours every single night. This is not the time for you to see.
Don't go off the deep end. This is absolutely something to be concerned about. Don't go into an INFJ spin, an INFP spin, and focus on this in that way. Don't do that. Like there's a healthy way to deal with it and an unhealthy way to deal with it. Make sure you're doing it healthy.
Your kids panic and talking about this all the time. Compartmentalize this stuff. Store it up. Be silent. Be quiet about it. And be
not silent, but be reasonable.
You're ready to do what you need to do.
Like you need to prepare. If you have young children, they don't need to prepare for nothing. But if your children are close to the age of majority, like my child, my youngest is 16. He'll make 17 this year. He knows. He is prepared. My daughter's 19. She is prepared. But yeah, the young kids don't need to know. But the ones that are close, they do. Even I would say even as young as 13 or 14.
To protect your family, if it all hits the fan. If these disruptions become a new way of life. Remember what's right. Remember the truth that you were taught. The roots that you were brought up with. And hold tight to those because you're going to need them. Now this channel right here is almost 500,000 strong. That's a tribe. And I promise you, the kind of people I'm gonna be counting on if it all hits the fan is folks like y'all. So be good, God bless you, stay strong. And the last thing I wanna say is, Wolverines!
All right. We'll let it play on out. Y'all make sure you get back over to Buddy Brown's page, give him a like, give him a sub, give him a share. Throw him some comments down below and let him know what was going on. I've said all I've needed to say. This is it. Like this right here is the goal. Like this is what I do. This is it. From one end to the other. Like we deal with mental health, we deal with preparedness, and like my earnest effort is to help prepare you for what is coming. In everything that I'm doing. Like I get off on my tangents and I get off on my rants, but this is it. Like this message here is what I'm doing. So Buddy Brown, thank you for this. I appreciate it. This was hot. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me. I am praying for you every single day. This has been Pitts Take. Peace.